We're here to talk about chronic pain and why we use Tai Chi and exercises like Tai Chi to help people with chronic pain.
I think that's often a big difference, is rather than just doing exercise, you're noticing, how am I feeling? Am I really relaxing? Am I really anchoring into the ground? When your nervous system can tell, hey, he really listens to me, I like to call that positive movement experience. Hi, I'm Jenna Peters, physiotherapist here at Tall Tree James Bay, and I'm here with Coach Gabriel Shaw, who's a Tai Chi coach and kinesiologist at movespace.com. If someone's struggling with having some pain, they may find what they're able to do is fairly limited. So maybe moving your shoulder, you're finding that there's only a certain range you feel okay in.
In other words, people often come to us with shoulder pain. When they lift it up, they can't get the shoulder above here because there's pain, say, or maybe if you can see this circle that I'm making with my finger, you could see if I had a shoulder injury maybe sometime in the past, I might have a smaller range of motion that I could do without triggering that pain, right? And so this circle could symbolize that reduced range of motion that we're, as a kinesiologist and physiotherapist, are working to help them improve.
Totally. So once we find that range, where the range you're comfortable in, what we want to do is spend as much time as we can kind of at the edges, working around, pushing into that, doing things that will help over time grow. So after working for a while at the edges, you might find, oh, I can now do more.
If we just talk about the edge of this circle as the edge of what's tolerable, right? Let's say this is like edge of which is tolerable without triggering that pain, but then there's actually an edge of damage, right? Which is different than the edge that's tolerable, right?
Right.
So also one thing that you're saying is sometimes this dotted line for someone could be way down here, for somebody else it's higher up here. And what we want to do is we want to do activities, right, that sort of play in here, right? We're sort of doing things in and around this edge zone, maybe coming into the edge zone and then moving back down, and then going into the edge zone and moving back down, as a way of really moving both of these lines a little more out, just like you're talking about with this circle.
Right, kind of stay around the edge of where you might have some discomfort, and then hopefully when your nervous system can tell that you're listening to it, you'll be able to do a bit more. So then you don't feel pain till here, and then you can actually do stuff that's this hard.
We're looking at this
Pushing
edge,
upwards, yeah.
And now we're talking about the same edge zone here.
A good word for that is sensitive. Often when it doesn't like to do too much, it might be a bit sensitive, and that can be a sensitivity through the nervous system or through the musculoskeletal system. And what's nice is either way, pushing into the edge with exercise can help with both. So
what we're going to do basically is explain now how this concept of working in this edge can affect the musculoskeletal system.
What people often forget is that we can adapt. Even just reaching your arm up is going to help load the arm to help improve the muscles. Your bones can get stronger for adaptation. They know that tennis players who are right-handed have stronger bones on their right hand than their left.
Interesting.
Your muscles can adapt.
Which obviously muscles get stronger after we exercise, and that's why they're a little bit sore, because we've been training in that edge zone. Sometimes if we exercise too hard, we actually get injured and have to rest.
Yeah, and then the muscles attached to the bone by tendons, and even ligaments they've shown can be strengthened as well.
Something that's really interesting too is that tendons can actually get longer and stronger when we do an activity for a longer period of time. So this is a good example of why trainers often tell clients to go slow at the beginning and gradually build it up. Say, for example, something like running. You can get stronger and longer tendons after running for a longer period of time, and that's going to make you more elastic. So that way, again, you can increase your edge zone or put less pressure on bones and joints and things like that.
Nice. And again, I think that would come back to expanding the zone of what your body's capable of doing, because if you do too much too soon, it's often like a bowl that's overflowing.
Partially that's for damage, but partially also that's for the nervous system. So maybe now is a good time to talk about also how going over this
Yeah, 'cause
affects the nervous system.
when your nervous system can tell, hey, he really listens to me, if you're really feeling it from after a few hard runs, you take a day off, your nervous system remembers that, hey, it listens to, my human listens to me when I tell it things, and that can help.
As opposed to pushing past pain all the time. So let's say if this is the line that's tolerable discomfort, and this is the line of damage, and you're kind of pushing past this discomfort all the time, what you're doing is you're triggering the nervous system or your peripheral nervous system, right? Which is transferring those signals about damage, about the bones and tendons and ligaments and joints to the brain. What you're telling it is, this human's not listening to me, and so what I have to do is actually maybe decrease this to give them pain sooner sometimes, to tell them, hey, where's damage is going to be, right?
Right, it becomes more sensitive. So we can adapt in a positive way or not a positive way. Either way, if there is some sensitivity, we're able to help the nervous system with that.
In other words, repeatedly driving past the point of discomfort or pushing into pain can make it more sensitive as opposed to less sensitive, where gradually exposing it to more at that uncomfortable level can make it less sensitive, right? So this exposure could have to do with the peripheral nervous system, like we're talking about those nerves sending painful information to the brain through nociceptors, or this could also be central nervous system through a variety of things happening in the brain, but one of which is just psychological, which is framing. Right? So this is just something where something that you thought was damaging because you were new to it, you just get a little more experience and now you learn to reframe it as a natural part of growing and developing, such as, say, muscular soreness. People who are not used to training, they get muscular soreness and they usually interpret it as a bad thing, or they can, whereas as people get more experience, they often associate that soreness with the positive aspects of getting bigger and stronger. And so that's how that also, playing in this edge zone, can really help our central nervous system by reframing that discomfort.
Yeah,
Cool.
I like to call that positive movement experience. Often the more positive movement experiences you can have, you help both things.
I love that. I love that positive movement experience.
And it's often hard when you've had a bunch of negative movement experiences. One, your body's sore, and two, the nervous system is not sure if it can trust you. And so trying to build up that trust within your nervous system, but also the trust within your body's ability to handle the load.
And that's exactly what we're talking about when we talked about sometimes that increased sensitivity that can come from too many negative movement experiences,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, so loading your body helps it adapt, makes it stronger, and positive experiences where you're exposing yourself to stuff that's a little bit on the edge, it's going to help it make less sensitive, and then end result, hopefully able to do a little bit more than you could previously.
Awesome. So now we sort of talked about some principles of exercise that can help people manage chronic pain, or maybe, let's say, increase their pain-free range of motion, if we talked about this as a range of motion issue. So now what I want to do is just give us some space here on this wall and talk about how certain principles of Tai Chi and any exercise that incorporates these principles can be especially helpful for the Tai Chi. So if you have any questions or any suggestions, definitely let us know. Do you have anything else that you want to add?
No, that sounds great. Thanks, Dave.
Cool, and then I would just say thanks a lot, Jenna, and thanks for Tall Tree for having us. And again, if you're looking for a little bit more support in your healing journey, come check out Jenna here at Tall Tree Health. And if you're looking for a little bit more support in your activities at home, check us out at moospace.com. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks.